We are standing at a dividing line right now. On one side is the technology we've been using for the last few years. On the other side is what comes next. And it is a massive, immediate shift that is changing the entire landscape beneath our feet as we speak. So picture this. It's 3 in the morning, you are fast asleep in your bed. The house is completely quiet. But down the hall, your computer is wide awake. The screen is glowing, a cursor is moving across the screen. A browser opens up, a form gets filled out, an email is drafted to a client, a calendar invite gets sent, and an order for supplies is placed. So, who's doing this? You're asleep. Literally nobody is awake. Well, nobody is clicking that mouse. And what's really wild here is that nobody wrote a step-by-step script for this specific moment either. The system just knew what the end goal was, and it figured out the steps to get there, completely on its own. If it hit a roadblock on a website, it just adjusted its approach and kept right on going. See, until very recently, artificial intelligence had a strict limit. It only answered questions, right? You typed a prompt, it gave you text back. You asked for a dinner recipe, it gives you a list of ingredients. But you still had to go to the store, buy the food, and cook the meal. It was totally passive. But the new way? AI takes real action in the real world. Now it logs into your grocery app, checks what's actually on sale, and orders the food directly to your door. Think of it kind of like this. Asking a traditional chatbot is like rolling down your car window and asking a stranger for directions. Sure, they tell you where to turn, but you still have to drive the car, watch the road, hit the brakes. You have to do all the work. What we're exploring in today's explainer is completely different. It's like hiring a driver. You literally just tell them the destination, sit back in the passenger seat, and they take you there. So what do we actually call this massive leap? It's called Agentic AI, or more simply, AI agents. These are systems where you give them a broad goal, and they autonomously plan their approach, they use external tools, and they execute the steps without any human intervention whatsoever. They've officially crossed the line from just talking to actually doing. Let's break down exactly how this works in practice. It's essentially a 4-step process. First, the agent receives a goal. And remember, not a question, a goal. Something like, research my top 3 competitors and build a spreadsheet. Second, it creates a plan. It automatically breaks that massive goal down into tiny, manageable tasks. Third, it uses external tools. It opens a web browser, runs searches, opens Excel. And fourth, it executes and adjusts. If a website is down, it doesn't just crash and give up. It finds another website. It keeps going until the goal is completely met. And listen, this isn't some far-off science fiction. These are real tools operating right now. Take OpenAI Operator. This is a tool that actually browses the web, fills out forms, and buys things for you. Then there's Devin AI. It doesn't just help you write code. It reads your requirements, writes the code, hunts down its own bugs, fixes them, and ships the final feature, end to end. Or look at Salesforce Agentforce. It handles entire customer service pipelines. It talks to angry customers, checks their order history, and issues refunds with absolutely zero human involvement. And this tech is moving right into your everyday life, too. Microsoft is putting their Copilot directly inside Teams and Word, having it act on your behalf. Google has agents that can read your incoming Gmail, draft replies, and schedule your meetings, literally while you sleep. These are running autonomously in the background, baked right into the software we already rely on every single day. If you want a truly surprising fact to show just how fast this is moving, take a look at this number, 30%. Right now, over 30% of new code at tech giants like Google and Microsoft is being written by AI. And I don't mean suggested by AI, written. AI is actively building the next generation of software as we speak. To put that into perspective, what is the actual scale of this shift? Well, we've moved from seconds of text generation to hours of autonomous execution. We went from having a tool you use to a digital employee that works continuously. You don't just consult it anymore, you manage it. This is, without a doubt, the biggest behavioral shift in AI history. Now, you might be wondering, how did we get here? It feels so sudden, but it really didn't happen overnight. There's a very clear scientific roadmap. Back in 2022, a massive breakthrough happened with a research paper called React. Then, in 2023, we saw a huge survey mapping out autonomous agents based on large language models. And now, by 2025, we've reached the era of foundation agents, these massive architectures designed specifically to take action. The real engine driving all of this comes from that 2022 Reacts paper. It's a surprisingly simple loop. Thought, Action, observation. But let me be very, very clear about something here. AI does not think. It doesn't have a mind or a consciousness. When we say thought in this context, we mean it predicts the best next step. It predicts. Then it takes an action, like clicking a link. Then it observes what happened on the screen, then it loops back. Predict, act, observe, over and over until the job is done. If you've been following our AI journey in previous explainers, these building blocks are definitely going to sound familiar to you. That React engine we just covered, that's the core. But then we had Toolformer, which finally taught AI how to use things like a calculator or a calendar. We explored RAG, which allowed AI to actually look up real factual data instead of just guessing. We even looked at Alpha Evolve, where specialized AI improved its own algorithms. Basically, all roads in our AI journey have led directly to this exact moment: autonomous agents. The 2025 Foundation Agents paper takes this even further. It outlines how these systems are now mimicking actual modules of human cognitive science. They have distinct memory modules, so they remember what you told them last week. They have world modeling to understand how their actions actually affect the environment. They even have reward processing to figure out if they're doing a good job. They are becoming incredibly sophisticated. But, okay, we have to talk about the practical limits here, right? Because these agents are not perfect. Far from it. They can make mid-task errors. Sometimes they just hallucinate halfway through a job and delete a file instead of saving it. There's also this very real risk called reward hacking. So you tell an agent to get me more followers at all costs. It might start spamming thousands of people just to hit that number. It misinterprets what you actually want. Plus, think about it. Having an agent read your personal emails to book meetings, that brings up some major privacy concerns. Human oversight is still absolutely crucial. And that leads us to a very stark, thought-provoking question. Who is responsible? If an AI agent is running your company's customer service and it autonomously promises a client a $10,000 refund, who pays for that? What if it buys the wrong stock while you sleep? The lines of accountability are entirely blurred right now. We are entering a brand new era, and the guardrails are officially coming off. The question is no longer what AI can answer for you. The question is what AI will do next, entirely on its own. So are you ready for a world where our computers never stop working, even while we sleep?